Look, I don't do this very often, but I need to make an entire video clarifying what I said in my previous video. Because apparently there are a ton of people that watched it and somehow believe that my opinion is completely different than what I was saying in that video, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense when I say it out loud, but that's apparently what's happening. So bear with me for just a second. Sit tight. If you commented on that video, please watch this. If you haven't seen that video, pause this one, go watch it, then come back, and then this will make a lot more sense. So I posted that video about 5 hours ago, and it's titled Cam Ward Opts Out of Miami Hurricanes Bowl Game at Halftime. He deserves hate? And let me just go ahead and say this real quick and get it out of the way. You got to understand how YouTube works. You have to notice the punctuation here. I'm asking that as a question. He deserves hate? Does he? Quitter in the thumbnail with a question mark. Is he a quitter? I'm simply asking a question, and we're discussing the topic because this is very much a hot topic right now all across social media. It's all over Facebook. It's all over the various different forums. It's all over Twitter, X, YouTube. You type in Cam Ward, it comes up. Did Cam Ward quit on the team? Everybody's talking about it, and the fan base is butting heads over it. You got opposing teams' fans chiming in, and everybody's arguing back and forth about it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a video about this because I covered the Miami Hurricanes, and I'm just going to be brutally honest with everyone and let them know how I feel about this, and you can either like it or not like it. And if you disagree, then type away in the comments and let me know, and I respect it. There's not really a right or wrong answer here. This is just everyone's opinion. And for some reason, my comment section is getting flooded with, I'm unsubscribing, BS take. Why are you being so mean to Cam after everything he did for the Miami Hurricanes? And I'm sitting here scratching my head, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did they just watch my video? Did they watch a different video and then accidentally comment on my video? I was so confused. Here's the deal. I don't blame Cam Ward one bit for opting out after halftime in that game. I said that I was shocked that he was even willing to play a single down in that bowl game. If I were him, I wouldn't have played. I would not have played. And you can hate me if you want, but look, I know my luck. I would have went out there and on the very first snap of the game, I would have broke my leg or something because I tripped over my shoelace. So there's no shot that I would have played. It wasn't about loyalty or any particular thing. My luck is too bad. So I wouldn't have done it. But he comes out there and he plays one half of football for Miami, and all in all puts them in as best of a position as he can given the piss poor defense. People said, you didn't even call out the defense. You're just sitting here talking about Cam Ward being a quitter. 5 minutes into the video, you know what I say word for word? I said, I'm not even concerned about Cam Ward opting out. I'm concerned about the defense and how they looked bad pretty much the entire season. And once we got to ACC play, it was one of the worst I've ever seen. So I literally addressed it. So all I'm saying is, I mentioned in the video that it sucked to see him opt out. And what I meant is it did suck because Miami was down, in the third quarter once Iowa State retook the lead. And you're looking at the star quarterback on the sideline. It sucks to see that. Am I pointing a finger at him and saying quitter? Absolutely not. Am I looking at him and saying this guy is no longer part of the Canes fam? We don't claim Cam Ward. Did not say that. I said it's Cam Ward's decision. If that's what he wants to do, I respect it. And I would have respected it if he did not play in it at all. Straight up his decision. I just wanted to win the game, and I know that Cam Ward gives Miami the best chance to win the game. That's all I was saying. I try to relate to people. I try to look at every point of view, put myself in others' shoes. And I think a lot of people took what I said in the video about what other people might be thinking and or saying, and they took it as my opinion. So what I also said is, I see why. I'm sorry, Max has got the zoomies and he's going crazy behind me. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, I see why there are people that are upset, because there are people that went to the game thinking they were going to see Cam Ward play for 4 quarters, and that was not disclosed beforehand. People just knew Cam Ward opted in. They think he's going to play the whole game. There are people that, hey, I'm just saying, there are people that probably had money on the game. They might not have done that. Let's say they might not have did Miami money line if they knew Cam Ward was going to come out after halftime. And people are angry. People are riled up about it. And I said that I understand their point of view. That's all I said. I understand it. My stance, my take, my opinion is simply that it's his choice, his decision. I don't blame him at all for only playing one half of the football game. I wouldn't blame him if he had opted out entirely. He did so many great things for Miami. We had a quarterback in the Heisman talks. Even though we didn't finish strong, even though Miami lost 3 of their last 4, I can't really expect any more out of this dude. I think he left it all on the field. It would have been cool to see him play 4 quarters. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. I'm a Cam Ward fan. It would have been awesome to see him finish the game and Miami win, because winning always feels better than losing. But am I calling him a quitter? No. And I think a lot of it's because I said in that video, I said, by definition, did Cam Ward quit on the team? And I said, yes. And again, people ignore exactly, everything I said before that. I said, by definition. So when people were saying, did he quit? He quit after halftime. But they knew that's what he was going to do. That was the plan. And I even said also, I said, if it was part of the plan the whole time, which it was so frustrating to see Emory Williams not perform very well. A lot of people have been saying Hemery, like, hey, don't worry, Williams has got us. And then so people started saying, hey, well, Emory didn't look that great. It's on Mario Cristobal for not having him prepared. It's on Dawson for not having him prepared. It shouldn't have been any type of limited playbook. He had weeks to practice, and he knew that Cam Ward was coming out after the first or second quarter. So that all sucked too. The defense was the biggest problem and had been for the majority of the season. The time management from the coaching staff, having these guys ready to play after multiple weeks off. There were so many bigger issues than Cam Ward and him not playing in the second half. Does Miami probably win that game if he plays the second half? Probably. But good grief, the dude gave us more than 30 points in the first half, and it still wasn't enough to get the job done because the defense blows. So I just wanted to clarify, and again, maybe it's the way I worded it. I'm put quitter in the thumbnail because I'm simply asking the question, do you think he is a quitter? I don't shy away from the controversial subjects. People said, I don't agree with your take. I'm unsubscribing. Well, unsubscribe. Look, it's family vibe here. We try to be open and honest, but I'm not going to beg you to stay if you're going to leave just because you don't agree with my opinion. Can we not have a grown-up conversation about it? Thousands of people watch these videos. I don't expect every single person to agree with me. That'd be wild. That would never happen. And everybody's not always going to agree with your take and your opinion either. But that's why I like talking about it. Why would people just run and hide anytime someone doesn't agree with them? That's so weird to me. But the funnier thing was just that they were saying that because they thought my take was that I was calling Cam Ward trash and not a Cane and that he's a quitter. And I didn't say any of those things. Read the pinned comment. Watch the 12-minute and 2-second video instead of just watching the first 30 seconds and saying, dang, Coop hates Cam Ward. Good grief, man. Watch the video. I might end up just deleting this video or taking it down. Look. Love Cam Ward. Did not lose any love for him by him opting out of the second half of the ball game. I know there's a large portion of the fan base that would have loved to have seen him finish the game, myself included. It would have been awesome. I wish he could have gone out a winner. But I understand why it can be kind of shocking. It's a bit jarring when the fan base felt like they got blindsided because they thought when he said opt in, he meant opt in for the whole game because they were never told otherwise. But I would not expect Mario Cristobal to put that information out there because the media will run with it, and then Iowa State would have known, well, Cam Ward's only playing for 2 quarters. And then Emory, so they could have adjusted their game plan accordingly to match Miami's game plan. You keep that stuff under wraps. And if you really thought about it, we even discussed the fact all week in a live stream and in a video, the fact that Cam Ward might not play the whole game, regardless of what situation they're in. And he didn't play for the second half. He does not deserve hate. I don't consider him a quitter. And I understand why a lot of old heads, though, also could be upset because, not that they're necessarily even just upset with Cam Ward specifically, hear me out on this, upset with the way the game is changing. The NIL era, people said, hey, well, if we're going to cut him a check for millions of dollars, I want him playing in the bowl game. I don't want him just playing the regular season and bouncing just because it's a non-CFP game. I understand. There's a lot of stuff with this new era that doesn't feel good. It feels more like a professional sport, but also many of us, myself included, are okay with them getting paid. I think they should be paid. It's just it's real, very touchy subject, real weird. There's so many gray areas, and I don't know, man. It's just odd, and it just feels weird to even talk about that side of it. But I just wanted to clear it up, man. I literally, as we speak, I refreshed a moment ago, and there was a comment on there. I can't believe you hate Cam Ward. If this video doesn't make sense, then please let me know. Please comment below and say, Coop, this makes no sense. You're up spouting nonsense at 2 o'clock in the morning. What's wrong with you, Coop? Go to bed. I don't know how people thought that I meant that from that video. I've watched it 5 times. I'm more mad at Mario. Guidry. I'm trying to figure out possibly why that man still has a job. I don't know. Cam did so much for Miami. There's no way I could hate on that guy. But if you want to, I said it's fine. I wish he would have finished it. Yeah, it would have been cool. But like I said, I'm shocked he played at all. I don't care that Sanders played and Travis Hunter played and some of these other guys. Every single player is in their own unique situation. So I know they're playing the same sport. I know there's some of the same things at stake. But they could be in very different spots in multiple ways in their life. Physically, mentally, financially, all kinds of different stuff. Anyways, I'm rambling. Like I said, let me know for real if this does not make sense. I don't want to do a part 2 clearing up my opinion on the Cam Ward situation. Good grief, I hope not. It just